Tractors smash through police barriers, London farmers' protest turns chaotic. In a scene that can only be described as unprecedented, tractors smashed through police barriers in London yesterday, marking a chaotic climax to the farmers' protest. This is not just a simple demonstration, it's a betrayal of trust and a stark reminder of the growing tension between the government and the very backbone of Britain's agricultural sector. As the dust settles, the implications of this dramatic escalation are profound, reverberating across the political landscape. The farmers, driven by frustration over rising costs and unfavorable policies, have pushed back against what they perceive as a government that has turned its back on rural communities. Critics argue that this protest is not merely about agriculture but symbolizes a larger discontent simmering within the electorate, reminiscent of the Brexit upheaval that shook the nation to its core. The echoes of a democratic vote, once celebrated as a triumph of the people's will, now feel like a distant memory as powerful interests seem to drown out the voices of everyday citizens. The chaos unfolded in front of the iconic Parliament, a location steeped in history and significance. Farmers, wielding their tractors as symbols of resistance, clashed with police, who were caught unprepared for the scale of the uprising. This incident has raised serious questions about the adequacy of the government's response to legitimate grievances, leading many to wonder if this marks the beginning of a new era of civil unrest in the UK. The stakes have never been higher, and the British people will not forgive a government that fails to listen. Political figures have been quick to react. The Prime Minister, a controversial figure known for his populist rhetoric, now faces mounting pressure from both sides of the aisle. Many fear that, much like past leaders who underestimated the power of grassroots movements, he could find himself at the heart of a perfect storm. Analysts warn that this could lead to a fracturing of traditional party lines, with rural voters feeling increasingly alienated from a government that seems to prioritize urban interests at their expense. The ramifications of this protest extend beyond immediate unrest. As history has shown, such acts of defiance can spark a wider movement, galvanizing support across various sectors. The parallels to the suffragette movement and the miners' strikes are unmistakable. Both were once seen as fringe protests, only to evolve into pivotal moments of national significance. The farmers' protest could very well be the catalyst for a broader fight against inequality and governmental negligence. Public sentiment is swirling around the idea that the government is out of touch with the realities faced by those in the countryside. Critics argue that the current administration has failed to provide adequate support for farmers, who have historically been the lifeblood of the nation. The repercussions of ignoring this demographic could be catastrophic. As the country stands at a crossroads, the choice is clear: either heed the warnings of these rural warriors or face an uprising that could reshape the political landscape forever. Moreover, the historical context cannot be ignored. The last time farmers took to the streets in such numbers was during the infamous foot-and-mouth crisis, which exposed the vulnerabilities of the agricultural system. This current protest, however, is fueled not only by economic hardship but also by a deep-seated frustration with policies that seem to prioritize foreign interests over domestic stability. Many are left to ponder: when will the government prioritize its own citizens? As the dust settles and the tractors roll away, one thing is certain: this protest is a wake-up call. It is a stark reminder that the struggle for justice and recognition is ongoing, and the fight is far from over. The farmers have drawn a line in the sand, and it is now up to the British public to rally behind them. This could mark a new era of influence, where the voices of the many rise against the few who have long held the reins of power. In conclusion, the challenge is clear. The British people must stand united, not only in support of our farmers but in defense of democracy itself. Like, subscribe, and join the growing community that insists on accountability and change. The future of our nation hangs in the balance, and together, we can make our voices heard. The time for action is now.